Hi, I want to share a little bit of information about if you decide to come into the webinars, if you decide to work with me, what is, what's expected on your side? Because this is really something that's going to need commitment from you. So I want to share some tips on what may come up for you if you start this work and different signs to look out for. So first of all, the work I'm doing is really working cellularly within the body. So it's working with the cells. So it's going into the cellular information, which is in your DNA, which is in the body, and which is in your subconsciousness. So the wounds I work with, so what I'm working with is frozen information or clusters of information, which is in the body or which is in your system, in your subconsciousness, or else which there's wounds from your childhood which open up. So when these wounds open up, the energy is of separation. So just to talk a little bit about the wounds, these are wounds from the womb up to 16. And these wounds are, for example, the imprints of mom and dad fighting, the energy of that fight, the energy of separation, and that will create a little imprint in you. And that information or the energy of the fight will be in your system. Now, as a child, you can't escape from the room, but you can get out of the body. So the protection as a child would be to get out of the body. Then there's another protection system which we have, and that's covering over the experience with an illusion that everything's okay. Mom and dad's fine. It's safe to come into the house. So we're full of these wounds in the system. Now, normally when I work with somebody, there's about 300 wounds or more. It depends what's in the system. So the more wounds, the more personality. Be aware that when I work or when you come across me in the work, there will be the resistance. So the mind will get active because the system doesn't want you to face these wounds. So as a child, the automatic system, if you feel that similar vibration, you get out of the body. Now, when you get older, at 17, 18 on, the system closes, but life will open up these wounds. Now, that's the parts where you feel triggered, you feel you're spiraling out of your system, you're out of your mind. These are the points, or you feel frozen maybe. You feel critical, you're blaming, you're criticizing, you're escaping, you're disassociating, you're out of your body, your sinuses get very active usually as well. So these parts are where the wounds are open. So the work that I'm doing, first of all, is to work with you subconsciously, because we're usually not aware of these wounds. So to work through the system to clear these 300 wounds and more if there's more. This will bring you back into space. You'll feel more space in the body. You'll feel more present with yourself, and you'll feel more whole. You'll feel also that the things that triggered you before are not triggering you the same as before, that you're able to stay in the body and you're able to stay more peace with yourself. So more peace with yourself, more love with yourself, more acceptance of oneself. So what I want to bring up really is that be aware that you're going to have, during this work, or if you do the webinars, that you're going to have an automatic trigger in your system not to do this work, because the system, it has a protection in you to resist, to use an excuse not to face this topic, not to go there. So you'll find different reasons and excuses not to go into these systems. During the webinars as well, you may feel tired, because what is happening is you're going into denser frequencies. You're going into frequencies where you needed to get out of the body, and these are being resolved. So normally you'll feel tired. If you feel this, you can say to the system, I'm not that child anymore. I stay in the body. I stay in the body this time. I'm not in the room in my childhood. I'm present and I choose to stay present. If you do fall asleep, it's cool as well. It's okay. Sometimes we need to get out a bit to get back in again, to clean up the house. So all is okay. There's no real right or wrong way to do this. Just simply, I want to bring in the information. So to be aware of the resistance, be aware of the excuses, be aware of the disassociation parts in your system. And really, I invite you to commit. I find the intention of committing to look at what you don't want to face is really important as well. So the word intention opens systems and allows you access into systems. So we all have these subconscious parts we're not aware of. It's normal. We all have them. And this work is about transforming these patterns and programs. So when I do this work, it's mostly subconscious. And I always recommend that you go in this implosion state. The implosion state is where you're accepting only what's yours to come back to you, rather than bleeding on other people or using this charge. There's usually a charge. So when a wound opens, connects to your childhood, where there was a charge back there, this energy opens a charge, and then we can put it on other people. So what I recommend is to really go in this implosion state so you can own what's yours and bring it back to the origin. I always set the intention, bring it back to the origin. Now, it's amazing. We usually find it in very unusual places. Usually it's in the womb, or maybe it's your grandmother's, maybe it's your mom's, maybe it's your dad's. A lot of this belongs to the ancestors, because you have imprints in you, but you may have those imprints in you because you had the same imprints from your mom or your dad. So there's a lot of different keys or different ways I'm working during the webinars. So I'm working with the imprints you have from the womb up to now. I'm working with the imprints from your mom, from your dad, from your ancestors, also from your past lives. Working deep within the subconsciousness to clear the subconsciousness trauma, split minds. So usually when some wound activates, you get out of the mind, you go up and out, and you cover with illusion. So you're blinkered to life, you're blinkered to seeing things or making excuses up for people's abusive energies. So I work very much with the programming that's in the system from you, your childhood, from wounds, from the ancestors, from parents, from the collective programming. So a lot of the collective mind as well, how that affects us, how it affects our immune system, how it affects our nervous system. And then there's the vanishing twin. If you're a survivor twin, a twin that's been in the womb, if you're a survivor twin, I have a lot of information on that. And there's a lot of triggers there as well, and resistance from going there because it's such a deep wound that you experience in the womb. It's probably the deepest wound you can have, and one of the first wounds you can have, which is in the womb, and that's the loss of a sibling in the womb. So there's a lot of resistance not to touch the twin topic as well, not to go near the twin webinars, because it's such a deep wound. So there'll be a lot of reasons why you should not go there. It's too dangerous in the system, because you have this strong protection system. The protection system did really well in all of us in our childhood because we needed it to survive. And it did a really good job. But now you are an adult and you have the choice to transform it. So this is what the work is about, just in a small segment. It's about really committing to look at what your system, or become conscious that you have triggers in your system that your system may not want you, or is protecting you from going into those frequencies again. Now, when you don't stay in the body and they open, you continue that pattern again and you loop it again. So it's not resolving it. The work I do is about staying in it, sitting in it, and transforming it, and clearing the origin of it, clearing the information from your cells, from the subconsciousness too. So the work takes time. It may look like nothing's happening because a lot of it's in stillness during the webinars. And it's really, it is working, And it is your spirit working very deeply. You're working very deep in the system. That's something I needed to get used to when I started to do this work, was to realize that it looks like I'm doing nothing, but actually I'm doing a lot in the system. So give yourself lots of space, and find a space you feel comfortable when you're doing the webinars or doing a session, that the phone's turned off, that it's a space where nobody's going to distract you, because your system will look for excuses to get out, for the mind to become active. So I'd always recommend to find a place to be by yourself, and somewhere where you feel very secure and safe, and to realize that you may want to be distracted by something on the outside. So if you're distracted or the mind is active, it means that there's part of your system working on something very deep where you need to get out of the body. So simply observe the mind and be the observer of the mind during the sessions. After the webinars, after the work, it's just as important to give yourself space to go for a walk, to be with nature. This is where the transformation really takes place, because that's the moment where your system will reset and complete and transform and heal. So these moments of stillness, of being with yourself, and also of making new choices or behavior patterns. Sometimes we need to experience what it's like to do the same again and then have another choice, but in a grounded way in the body. So I just want to give you some keys of what to look out for, what to commit if you want to commit to go deeper into your own system. The work that I do, it's not easy, because it's going to go very deep into your core topics, and it's life-changing. If you really commit to it, it's life-changing. And each webinar seems to go deeper and deeper and deeper into these systems. And you imagine those 300 wounds that you're, say, maybe clearing 30, 40, 50 at a time in the webinars. So it's really doing deep work. This is normally work that would take years to work or to do in conventional ways or therapies. But this system, the way it works very deep, very fast, but you need to give yourself some space. And to watch the recordings again, and watch them till you can watch it consciously and in the body. That's when you know it's really shifted for you. So that's how you can get the best out of the webinars, the best out of the sessions, is to go in with intentions consciously and say, I'm ready, I'm going to face what I couldn't face before, or I couldn't face in the childhood, and I'm going to transform it. Just keep that intention and it will work great. Thank you for watching the webinars. Thank you for being part of the work. And yeah, thank you for having the courage to go deep into your own system, because I really know what it's like. I know how it feels to go deep into these systems. It's not easy, and it's not easy to do this work. And at the same time, it's such a gift to do the work and to feel yourself and to transform. And I was talking to somebody about it today, that to live this heaven on earth, to experience life in a fresh way. It'll make you feel fresh. It'll make you feel creative. It'll make you feel empty. It will give you the feeling of life force, creativity, fertility, fun, joy. It will, I'm not saying it won't, you still will feel pain maybe, or discomfort, but it's interesting how you can handle it, and you can go through it, and you can transform it. So I see everything as an opportunity for growth. Life becomes life, color, not black and white. That's what happened when I started doing this work. And yeah, life gets very rich. So we're here as spirit to have the experience, transform it, and to grow. Thank you. Thank you for being part of the work. Thank you for your time. And yeah, enjoy discovering yourself and feeling more whole. Every time you work, you feel more whole. That's what I noticed. So yeah, thank you. And yeah, sending you inspiration really to go on this journey. It's a beautiful journey. and it's not for everybody. But if you're feeling it, I would really say, yeah, go for it. Go for it. It gives you great results. Thank you.